TGB Dirt returns to Spain for the 4th round of this thrilling season. It's one of the fastest rallies on the calendar and the only pure tarmac event, a challenge like no other for the drivers. Phil turned the championship around with victory in Greece, and now he looks to defend a healthy 16-point lead from the chasing Luca. Both drivers' best finish here is just 3rd place. How will they fare this time around? Luca was happy to be back on asphalt, knowing the track surfaces suited his style more than Phil's, and he was 3 seconds quicker than his rival on the opening test, taking an early lead in Spain. It was another impressive start for Mike, who went 4th fastest, splitting Dom and Zach, who are in their own fight for 3rd in the championship. Owen is looking to improve on his season best of 7th from Australia, and he matched that position on the opening stage and running just 5/10 back from Alistair in 6th. With rain in the air but conditions expected to clear up for the longer 3rd stage, there were split strategies throughout the field, and Phil was the highest placed driver to opt for dries. The Ford runner was carrying too much speed around one tight bend though, and was lucky to escape a penalty for going off course. Luca went for wets and once again was the driver setting the pace. Another superb run extended his rally lead to 10 seconds. Dom and Sam had both opted for the cautious approach too, and now sat 2nd and 3rd overall. Owen was the fastest dry tyre runner, and losing only 13 seconds to Luca was very impressive. He was now up to 4th and feeling very confident. The tarmac specialist seeking a first podium in 7 seasons. Zach crawled through on his dries, but despite losing a place to Sam, he would jump Phil and remain 5th. The field was once again very tightly packed, and less than 5 seconds was the difference between 7 drivers fighting for 5th. The sun was beaming, and those who had just struggled in the wet suddenly had the chance to gain a big advantage as the pendulum swung around. Sam's strong start came to an end when the lack of grip on his wets sent his car understeering into a wall that left him with a front left puncher. He would fall from 3rd to 17th. Punches appeared to be a common theme on this run, with Mike once again throwing away a great result. Court's chances also ended following the loss of a tyre. And Hickey was another to fall down the order when 2 minutes was lost after making contact with the same barrier as the Dutchman. Zach was fastest through and moved himself right back into contention for the win. It was a very strong time for Owen too, 4 seconds adrift of the pace setter, but crucially 20 seconds clear of anyone on wet tyres. Phil should have been up there too, but at the very start of the stage he cut a corner a little too much and picked up a 22-second time penalty. Having not learned his lesson, the same mistake would be made just a few minutes later. All very scruffy from the man who had been so consistent so far this season. On wet tyres, Luca would throw away 26 seconds to Zach, but he did just about hold on to his lead. His phenomenal pace back in stage 1 making the difference. Now though, only 8 seconds was covering the top 4, with Owen and Dom right in on the fight too. More changeable conditions left drivers with a headache once again. But with the power stage expected to be dry, where bonus points are on offer, it was a lot easier of a decision for the field this time round. Dom was running well until a momentary lapse of concentration saw him fall down a small hill that resulted in a hefty 40-second time penalty. The Manxman seeking legal advice after receiving a penalty more severe than any of his rivals would pick up for a similar incident. There would be late drama for rally leader Luca too. Carrying too much speed towards the end of the stage saw him briefly go off. He was lucky to reverse onto track and continue on his way, but around 10 seconds was lost. Owen set another very respectable time that incredibly moved him into the lead of the rally with just the final stage to come. Now holding a 4-second lead over Zach and an 8-second advantage over Luca, it looked very likely that we would see a new winner for the season here. We'd love to praise Court for getting the fastest stage time through Descenso por Carretera, but he was one of the very few that actually went for the wet tyres, so no surprise that he was the quickest of all. A rare treat for what's been a torrid season for the Ralf Schumacher of the Gillisons. Mike, meanwhile, well, let's let the pitchers do the talking.
No. That's bad, that's
6
bad.
left, 50. 4 left, into 5 right.
Well aware of the opportunity in front of him, Owen set out on the Betnoon Power stage with just the aim of securing rally victory. He took a cautious approach that he hoped would be enough to hold off the 2nd and 3rd place men. Luca needed big points to capitalise on Phil's dire event, so he was only ever going to give it absolutely everything. He did go much faster than Owen, but at only 6 seconds it wouldn't quite be enough to take victory. Zach meanwhile could only match Owen's time, so while he was jumped for second overall by the charging Luca, it meant Owen had done enough to claim a shock victory in Spain, finishing just 2.5 seconds clear. Phil's time was fast enough to move him up 2 places into 5th, jumping Dom on pace, and then also Alistair when he suffered a puncture through the final test, the Scot falling to 9th. Aiden was 3rd fastest through the Betnoon power stage, which secured him a brilliant 4th place in the rally, while Luca claimed an extra crucial point over title rival Phil with the quickest time. So a 4th career victory for Owen Gilles Panizzi Quemby, and a first since season 3 way back in 2017. Luca will be happy to see Zach and Aiden in between him and Phil, while Dom was disappointed to finish 6th. Dan earned his best result of the season in 7th. There was just 9 seconds between Court in 10th and CJH in 14th. Alex finishing a 2.5 clear of Hickey to just about take victory in Dirt 2. Blair then pipped Sam to claim the last championship point. Cam and Ewan both made it to the finish in their debut event. The same could not be said for Lewis, who retired on the second stage. 6 drivers failing to finish in the end. Phil's lead has been cut to 6 points, despite Luca failing to claim victory. Owen is a big mover thanks to his result, now placing ahead of Alistair and Iggy. Aiden moves up to 8th, while Chris remains a very respectable 9th. 4 rounds down, still 3 to go. Owen's shock victory has shown just how open this championship is. Luca and Phil continue their battle in just a week's time, with Softy returning as he seeks a 10th career win.